Rocky Horror Minute is rated R. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is also rated R. We're going to spend this time discussing the movie in gory detail, and along the road we will talk about some adult content and use some of our favorite swear words.
I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Consider yourselves warned. Welcome to Rocky Horror Minute, the podcast where we break down the Rocky Horror Picture Show in excruciating detail, 1 minute at a time. I'm one of your hosts, Leandra.
And I'm your other host, Kelly.
And today we're on minute 64. What happens, Kelly?
I'm so glad you asked. We left off with the second Janet of the Rocky Horror roll call, or the first Janet of the second repeat. Anyway, this minute starts with Janet saying Dr. Scott, and then we repeat through. Brad says Janet, Janet says Brad, and then Frank says Rocky, and Rocky looks at Frank. We go through the whole thing one more time, and then Frank furiously says to Rocky, "Listen, I made you, and I can break you just as easily." Rocky kind of waddles over to him, and then Janet gasps, and then Magenta, who is now wearing her apron over what we'll call her dinner dress, which is a very small amount of fabric, very open, with a sequin black bra underneath it. She interrupts by hitting an incredibly loud gong, and then she's got her head thrown back, and she throws her other arm back, and she holds that pose for an unreasonably long amount of time. Frank looks so annoyed by this, very put out, just like, it's very much like an I'm surrounded by idiots kind of face, and Janet jumps. Peter Hinwood forgot to react to the fact that a loud gong was playing in this scene, so he just kind of stands there.
No thoughts.
No thoughts, head empty, no working ears, I guess. Magenta yells, "Master, dinner is prepared!" And she is grinning ear to ear. She's having the most fun, potentially, of the entire movie in this moment. And she holds the pose, and you see her, like, her arm starts to kind of, like, droop, and her, like, smile starts to fade into a grimace as she's holding it longer and longer, which I think is really funny. Frank says, "Excellent," and then he turns specifically to Janet to shame her for her nakedness, I guess, and says, "Under the circumstances, formal dress is to be optional." Janet and Rocky look at each other, and then we hear Crim start speaking before we cut over to him. He's got his Crim book open to The Last Supper, correct, Leandra?
Yes, that is correct.
It was a little hard for me to see, but I was pretty sure that was The Last Supper painting. And he's got two photographs on his desk, one of Ronald Reagan and one of FDR.
Now, Kelly, how could it possibly be Ronald Reagan? He wasn't president yet.
I have heard that from people, and to them I say, Ronald Reagan was sort of the Arnold Schwarzenegger of his day, in that he was a famous actor who became governor of California, and he was very much a household name at the time, very prominent politician, and he was governor of California when this movie came out. I have not been able to locate the exact photo, but I've been able to locate a pretty similar one. I'm 99% sure it's him. If you think it's not him, feel free to tell me who you think it is then, if you're so smart.
I did reach out to Ruth of Ruth's Anal Retentive website, and I was like, it couldn't possibly be Ronald Reagan, and she very politely was like, no, it really could be. Don't worry. Don't stress about it. And she even threw out there that Tom Lehrer even references Ronald Reagan in a song on politics and entertainment called George Murphy in his 1965 That Was the Year That Was album.
Yeah. I think it was a pretty big deal, and that's why he kind of just steamrolled into office and then proceeded to ruin the country. But I have not succeeded in finding this exact photo, and I've tried, I would say, kind of hard. His hair in particular is what throws me off, but he did sort of sometimes part his hair in that weird way. Anyway, so pretty sure that's the Gipper.
I did stop you right in the middle of your breakdown of what happened in this minute, so please continue.
Oh, I wasn't aware anything happened in this
Oh,
minute, but I'll keep describing what was on the screen. So Crim starts his monologue, and it is: food has always played a vital role in life's rituals. The breaking of bread, the last meal of the condemned man, and now this meal. And at this point, we see the dinner table set. Brad, Janet. I guess let's start from the head of the table. Frankenfurter is seated at the front with sort of his hands in
they're steepled.
interlaced. Yeah, steepled. Exactly. That's what I was looking for. Frank's sitting at the head of the table, looking bored. And then going around clockwise, we have Columbia, Rocky, Dr. Scott, Brad, and Janet. And we'll discuss the general layout of the table and stuff more in future minutes, but just know they're wearing what we've last seen them wearing. Then Crim continues, however informal it might appear, you can be sure there was to be very little bonhomie. And then we have a shot from behind Magenta as she throws open the double doors to the dining room with a loud creaking, and then she turns and grabs a cart to pull it in, and that's the end of the minute.
This is a fun little minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really don't have much to say about this minute other than I have a gong and I got it from my ex-girlfriend and it is my favorite prop that I own. I love it so much. It is so loud.
Because it came from that girlfriend.
No. Well, no. Well, it's a nice gift, but mainly because it
It
was
was a
so
nice
very
gift.
loud. And she really did try very hard to get a as screen accurate a gong as possible, at least as far as kind of the speckling on it. She spoke with the seller and was like, "Do you have one that has kind of roughly these different speckles?" And the person really tried to match them as best as they could, which I thought was neat.
Oh, that is neat. It was a very thoughtful
Yeah.
gift.
So I love doing one of two things. If I'm in a good mood, I will wake up the people that I'm about to bang the gong over top of and be like, please cover your ears. This is incredibly loud. And they go, oh, thank you so much for letting me know. Or if I'm not in a very good mood, I take a step back so that I don't actually harm them, but then I bang the gong real loud and that wakes them up.
My beloved grandmother used to she worked multiple jobs, and one of them was school teacher and one of them was nurse. And when students fell asleep in her class, she was notorious for breaking ammonia capsules in front of them to make them.
Oh my
I don't know
god,
if you've ever seen somebody be awoken by ammonia capsule,
that's
but
awful.
oh no, it wasn't. She was beloved by all,
No, it wasn't.
not least for her pranks. Yeah, but so anyway, yeah. Recently, that gong at a Rocky show when Leandra played Magenta, our stage manager came to me, panicked, because he is my boyfriend. He came to me and said that Leandra's gong was missing, and I was like, "Oh my god, Leandra must be fucking freaking out." And then I started tearing everything apart, and he's telling me everywhere that has been checked. And you know what place hadn't been checked is the place where it always is and where Leandra left it. So I hated that.
Yeah, I too disliked that quite a lot. When I thought that there was a chance that an audience member had just like lifted it, I thankfully because of Wellbutrin didn't have like a huge reaction, but I did go, "Oh, that would be very upsetting."
Yeah. So next time, maybe check in the exact place where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, Leandra asked somebody else to grab it, who then didn't check in the one place it was supposed to be and told the stage manager it was missing, and the stage manager then didn't think to check in the one. I was the first person in this chain to even think to double check that area, but all of them dumbasses.
I genuinely
is my declaration.
it didn't occur to me that that first person that I asked wouldn't have just like grabbed it from where I told them it would be.
Yeah, no, for sure that person is the most special of all in this story.
I honestly don't remember who it was, but it could be any of them. If you're listening,
Oh, you don't remember who it was?
if you're listening and don't know which one you are,
Oh, he's listening.
who is it?
It's your fiance.
Mike.
Yeah.
Mike.
I was trying to be discreet for the sake of him, but you know what? I razz him because that
Mike, I told you where it was.
Is where he was supposed to check.
Shame on you, Mike.
And it's a huge gong. It was not hard to find.
In his defense, maybe because I'm editing this, by the time I edit it, I'll have something to drop in.
I'm sure that would happen.
Yeah.
Now, of all of the Crim commentary to not matter, this not matters the most. What the fuck is he even talking about? This adds nothing to anything.
It is almost like Crim exists for the sole purpose of giving us a chance to pause and celebrate any mistakes we may have made since the last Crim break.
That's true. I mean, this Crim moment literally was me in school when I didn't study for the exam. And then they're like, so, tell us about the dinner scene in the movie. And I would just start writing, so food has always played a vital role in life's rituals, e.g., the breaking of bread, the last meal of the condemned man, and, well, there's this meal.
Yeah, people eat, and it happens.
What a waste of everything. But it is nice that we have a little Crim moment to go over mistakes or audience commentary or what have you.
Yeah.
Do you have anything for this, Leandra? I have a few.
I do. This one actually relates to you.
No.
Yeah.
Unless you're gonna say that you were wrong to doubt me about something, maybe, or that you previously thought my boobs were smaller than they are.
No, actually, you made this huge mistake several times, actually, by saying that you were my alpha.
No.
You are correct. That is a no.
Sure. We'll see who's alpha.
Those were all certainly words.
Yes.
But I do have something. It is that superfan Mike L wanted me to clarify that A Star is Born has 4 different versions.
Oh.
With the original
yes.
in 1937, one in 1954, the Barbara one in 1976, and then the 2018 one. I think that he said that the 2018 one was like the best of them, but that's not saying much.
I have not seen any of the other ones, but I really, as I've already discussed, found the 2018 one to be boring. Now, I have a hard time believing that I would prefer anything to the Barbara version, but that's just because I'm a stan.
Oh, I know.
But yes, thank you, Mike L. You're much better at finding errors in my commentary than you are at finding gongs.
Oh, a fun fact about Mike L. He's the only Rocky Horror Minute fan who has ever seen me topless.
Sure. And yet, no Rocky Horror Minute fans have seen me topless.
None of them.
Now, none of them. Now, I thank you for that correction. I actually noticed the same thing when I was looking it up later. We talked a little bit about this when we went on a different podcast called T. Hanks for the Memories to talk about the Elvis movie that I disliked greatly that came out last year. But anyway, in that movie, they show that Elvis was almost chosen for the role opposite Barbra Streisand in the, I guess, third remake. Or second remake, third version. But anyway, he was not chosen, but could have been Elvis, and I'm sure would have sucked all the more for it because his movies all sucked.
Yeah. What other corrections do you have?
No corrections, to be fair, but we did get a message from dear friend of the podcast, Rachel, who we call RBG, and it is Ruth Bader Ginsburg, by the way.
From beyond the veil.
Yeah, Ruth Rachel Bader Ginsburg, as she was known. Anyway, she messaged after minute 57 when we talked about Brad's sex scene. And she said, "You mentioned a callback saying it's Pepsi when Brad said, 'I thought it was the real thing.' I realized that was especially funny because Brad did those Pepsi Twist commercials where Halle Berry turned into him. I was not familiar with this, but apparently that happened." And she said, "Could that callback be why he was chosen for the commercial?" And in the absence of any real way to check that, I'm going to say yes, 100%. It is confirmed fact that he was chosen for the commercial because of that obscure callback.
Yeah, we confirmed it with ChatGPT, and the answer is yes.
But yes, I loved that little detail. I did not know about the commercial. If I can find it, I'll put it on our YouTube playlist and our Twitter for everyone to enjoy. But Halle Berry turning into Brad, that is quite the Pepsi twist.
I like it.
And also by Brad, I guess she means Barry Bostwick, or I should have said Barry Bostwick. But yeah, so that was the only real thing. You also asked us to remind you about the ads in the magazine.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so I spoke about Movie Mirror and Movie Life and finally pulled out my magazine covers, and just looking at them, I really need to take better care of them in the future. They're starting to get a little bit jacked. But anyway,
Off.
on the backs of them, specifically on the back of Movie Mirror, there's this ad, and it is wonderful things happen to you when you can play piano, guitar, accordion, organ, any instrument. Join the thousands who have learned at home this famous way. And it is a free book from the U.S. School of Music called Now You Can Learn Music in Your Own Home. And I won't read all of the copy, but it starts with, "Are you the somewhat shy or retiring type who too often stays at home, just a little bit bored, a little bit lonesome?
Yes, I am.
Then why not
That's
discover
me.
the many exciting things that can happen to you when you play a musical instrument?"
Oh. Not where I thought you were going with that.
And then to the left in stars, inside of the stars, it has some of the examples of things that can happen. And it says new friends, more popularity, party invitations, surprise your friends, relaxation, earn extra money.
Wow, this is kind of like a panacea of sorts. You can do all kinds of things with this.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of scrolling through, and I don't know why they keep saying that the things that you can learn are piano, guitar, accordion, organ. Like, I guess those are the only ones that this book prepares you for. No, 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 no. I'm looking. Okay. So when you look at the U.S. School of Music, there's a little, you cut it out to send in with your self-addressed stamped envelope. And it goes, "I'm interested in learning to play, particularly the instrument checked below. Please send me your free 36-page illustrated book. Now you can learn music in your own home. No salesman is to call upon me." And then you can check off piano, guitar, steel guitar, violin, piano, accordion, saxophone, trumpet, cornet, pipe, electronic reed organ, tenor banjo, ukulele, clarinet, trombone, flute, piccolo, or mandolin. And I think that it's amazing that you can learn how to play these instruments enough to earn extra money in 36 pages.
That is amazing, yeah. People will pay you to stop playing the accordion that you barely know how to play in their presence.
Yeah, that and ukuleles. So good.
Ukuleles are also great if you need to apologize for something.
Yeah. On the backside of Movie Life, though, is one of my favorite ads of all time. And I will say this quickly because I want to read the entire copy of this because it's just like amazing. It is a picture of Rachel Wells, and at the top of it, it says, "I can't afford to be skinny," says Hollywood's lovely Rebecca. Oh, it's a picture of Rebecca Wells. And at the top of it, it says, "I can't afford to be skinny," says Hollywood's lovely
I thought
Rebecca
it
Wells.
I thought it was Rebecca Rachel Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then it says, "Featured in TV's top shows, Alcoa Theater, Hitchcock Prevent." Blah, blah, blah. What does he prevent?
He prevents I don't know,
I'm going to start at the top
the
of this.
mental health of his actors. Okay.
In TV's top shows, Alcoa Theater, Hitchcock Presents, and Perry Mason, making a movie often means eating irregularly, even skipping meals. This not only drains you of energy, but can make your figure too thin, unattractive. I can't afford to be skinny, so during these hectic days of movie and television making, I often take super weight on as a supplement with my meals. This golden liquid is super saturated with easy to digest calories and other figure building elements to put weight on fast, besides energy factors we all need. You'll like taking new super weight on because it tastes so good.
So good.
And then there's this little kind of drawing of a bespectacled man holding an Erlenmeyer flask and a beaker, and it says, "Amazing new scientific discovery quickly fills out skinny figures. No pads, exercise, or overeating." And then it goes, "Easy weight gains 5, 10, 20 pounds reported by thin women, men, and children who are underweight because of poor appetite or poor eating habits." And I said that I was going to read all of it. I'm not actually. It's just there's so much about this. And then at the bottom it says, "Super weight on, a new super homogenized emulsion of natural fats from vegetable sources. Each daily dosage supplies 660 weight building calories taken by spoon, or 1100 calories when mixed in milk as recommended." That sounds disgusting.
But anything to be a gorgeous fat ass like myself. Am I right, ladies?
I mean, I just keep looking at this and going, damn, I'm just really old Hollywood.
I know. Listen, women pay a lot of money. I am just blessed by genetics to uh be super fat.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say I don't work at it. I studiously avoid the gym, and
What are you
I
talking about? You told
do.
me this morning
Oh my
when you
god!
said that you were definitely going to wake up at 9 and we could start recording shortly thereafter. At 10, I laughed at that, and then at like 11:15, you said, "How dare you?" I was definitely at the gym when you messaged.
Oh yes. Well, nobody's perfect. Like I have commitment to my figure, but I do occasionally make it to the
Oh,
gym.
just a splurge.
Yeah, yeah. Everything in moderation. I only have one other note.
Yeah,
Actually, are you done with ads?
I'm done.
Okay. And that is, I'm glad we don't do this with gigantic, genuinely aflame chandeliers anymore. It's like 3 inches above the table. Seems like a horrific accident waiting to happen.
There are so many people who died by getting set on fire accidentally in their own homes. And a lot of it had,
From chandeliers?
not necessarily from chandeliers, from all sorts
Okay.
of random things, that they would bump into with their dresses, or if they're passing things across the table, their sleeve can get caught in a flame on the candle. Just shit like that
Yeah.
was very dangerous, particularly in times where like large clothes were more popular.
Yeah, I was about to say, I guess during, the days before electricity, maybe they should have tried to tend towards more minimal, sleek fashion.
But did they?
That
No.
they did not, no. Because they wanted, again, to look like me, so they were trying to put on a bunch of layers and,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just get on our level, I guess.
I know. It's sad, really, but imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Do you have anything else?
I just wanted to throw out there that we are releasing this minute on Friday, the 22nd of December, and consider this your last call to get Christmas cards from us. We are going to send them out, and yes, they will be arriving a little bit after Christmas, but consider it a little treat for getting through the holidays.
Yes.
And how can people request a card?
They could email us at rockyhorrorminute@gmail.com. They could DM us on Facebook or on Instagram, where we're Rocky Horror Minute. They could find us on Twitter, where we're Rocky Horror Min, and try and send us a message there. They could find us in person, not via stalking, but if you know us in person, I suppose you could do it that way. Don't stalk us, and yeah.
You could also leave us a 5-star review, although I strongly discourage you from posting your mailing address in one, but I'm not going to tell you not to.
No, I
It's just a
mean,
bad idea.
if that's the only way, then fair. Plus, for leaving a 5-star review, I'm sure people will want to send you gifts for supporting their favorite podcast. So
Yeah.
maybe set up a PO box. I don't know.
But always never post your mailing address in a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
I thought it was always never don't post your address in the 5-star Apple Podcast review.
It's always never don't do not.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
So on to callbacks.
Callbacks. There aren't that many. After the final Rocky Horror roll call, you can give a really loud Rocky Balboa, Adrian! Fun. When Magenta says master dinner is prepared, you can say, it's shake and bake and I helped. And then as a response to that, sometimes it's hamburger helper and I'm the helper. Now, right before Frank says excellent in that pregante pause, you can go, Wayne's World, party time, so that he finishes it. Very fun reference. And then when he says formal dress is to be optional, you can start chanting, toga, toga. And then sometimes people will transition into chanting, naked, naked. Great stuff.
Yeah.
That's it.
So the callbacks that I have, you can, in addition to saying Rocky Bullwinkle, Rocky Adrian, one that I've heard somewhat recently, like in the past 5 to 10 years, is "You're tearing me apart, Rocky."
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fun.
that's fine. And then when Frank says, "I made you," you can say "out of Legos." And right after he says, "But I can break you just as easily," you say "not before the Gong Show."
Oh.
Which, for those of you who don't know, the Gong Show was a show with a gong. No, it was a a kind of talent show sort of thing, and you had to do your talent before somebody hit a gong saying that it sucked, essentially.
That's funny.
Yeah. And then because of the way Magenta says prepared, sometimes people go, master dinner is papaya.
Oh, yeah. It does kind of sound like she says papaya.
Yeah. And when Frank says excellent, you can also say egg salad. And you say orgy or picnic. I brought ants. And then it's no picnic. You go, aw, or yay.
Wait. Nope.
What?
That's way later.
Oh, beans.
I'm your alpha!
No! Okay, but here's my last one. So my last one for this is, who paid for the Last Supper? And then somebody else goes, I don't know, but they nailed Christ for it. Yeah.
Very good.
But those are all of my callbacks.
Well, I have a wolf pack to lead, so
No.
let's end this episode.
No.
The way we always end it.
No. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, so get the fuck out.
So get the fuck out.
When did we become stupid?
Double feature picture show.
Hey, Kelly.
Yes, Leandra.
I've got something to say.
I bet it'll sound better with stock Christmas music, so hit it!
We at Rocky Horror Minute want to thank you all for your continued support when we needed to take a long break.
That's right. Leandra needed that time off to become a tri-state yodeling champion, a thing nobody wanted her to do.
And during that time, Kelly's boobs grew 3 sizes, just like the Grinch's heart.
Aw, you noticed!
We wanted to get back into recording so very much, but it was our dearest listeners who contacted us who finally brought us back.
As a way of showing our thanks to you, we are sending out Christmas cards. Just send your address to us on our social media.
Or via email at rockyhorrorminute@gmail.com.
Again, thank you so much for your kind words and encouragement over the years. Knowing that people are listening to us makes all the difference. Merry Christmas, baby!